Okay, this is the king of late night TV, David Bronstein. This is the continuation of the Lousy soup story. So if you haven't heard the beginning of the story, go to part 1 of my blogs about the soup story. Because on this crazy YouTube, I'm trying to do a blog, it cuts me off after 10 minutes, and I got a lot to say. I'm David Bronstein, king of late night TV, producer of the hit reality show American Stripper, and this is part 2 of the Lousy soup story. So I go to get soup at this high-end restaurant. It cost me $7 for soup, $7 for a salad, $10 for a bottle of water, $17 the whole meal. The soup is lousy. The soup is so salty, it's like drinking the Atlantic Ocean, this soup. That's how salty it was, and you can hear the whole thing on part 1. But this is part 2, and I go to return the soup. So I go to return this soup. It's asparagus soup, but it was so salty, and this is a very high-end place I went to. This place was so high-end, you need to make $100,000 before you go to this restaurant, before this high-end food place. Before they let you in, you gotta make $100,000. So this soup should not have been salty. It should have been excellent, excellent soup. So I went to return the soup because it was too salty. I felt like I was on the beach in Atlantic City. So I go to return the soup. The girl says, come back to this counter, go to that counter, this counter. Oh, I'm walking around the whole place trying to return a cup of soup. So finally, I take the cup of soup like this, and this is where the part 2 begins, because part 1 ended of the story. If you go to my other blog, you can hear about this. So I go to the end of the counter, 5 people, 5 clerks are standing around in a huddle like a football team. I'm standing like a schmuck with a cup of soup. I want to return the soup. So I stand there after 5, 6, 8 seconds or so, maybe less than that. I said, excuse me, I'd like to return this soup. And then everyone turns around. They said, oh, are you the customer with the soup? Who else? They're in a huddle. What are they doing, playing football behind in the deli counter? Who else is complaining about the soup but me? I'm the one they're talking about. I said, yes, I'm the one with the soup. They said, what, would you like another soup? We already had this conversation. I said, no, that's like my money back. So, okay, come with me. Well, I'll get your money back. So now somebody leads me over to the cashier, and this supervisor, whatever it says to the cashier, and he'd like to have his money back, and she's okay, and she says, do you have a receipt? Now, what do they think? I went to another restaurant, brought in soup to this place, and said, here, I'd like to return this soup. The soup was still hot. The steam was coming out of the soup. I can understand. You buy a DVD at one store, you buy a VCR or a television, and you go to a store and say, do you have a receipt? But where would I bring in a cup of soup from? What, I go across the street to the fish market and buy a cup of soup, take it to this place and say, hey, I'd like to return this soup? I said, yes, I have the receipt. So I took out the receipt, which has the salad, has the bottle of water, has all on the receipt. And the girl punches it in and gives me back $6.99. Now, I live in a country where there's 15% tax, or maybe 14% tax, whatever the hell it is now. 15%, whatever. I said, isn't there a tax? So they charge me tax for everything here. Everything we get charged tax. And she says, no, you got it at the deli, there's no tax. I couldn't believe that, no tax. I figured, all right, no tax. So she gives me $6.99. God forbid she should round off the penny. She has to give $6.99. And then I say, I'd like to get the receipt back, please. And she says to me, the clerk, oh, no, I have to hold on to the receipt. We need the receipt. So I said, okay, well, then could you write up a receipt for me for $6.99? That threw her off. The whole place shut down. Couldn't figure out what the hell went on. When I said to her, could you please write down the number $6.99, give me another receipt? The cashier didn't know what to do. She had to call over the supervisor. He wants the receipt. What do I do now? And they said, give him the receipt. You'll have to make him another receipt. They are so programmed. The way the world is now, the clerks are so programmed. Take the money, ring it in. Take the money, ring it in. Take the money, give it a receipt. When you throw them off with something as simple as a return, and then you ask for the receipt back, and they are programmed to say, I'm sorry, I have to keep the receipt, a customer would probably say, okay, and then walk away. But I didn't say that. I said, okay, you want to keep, that's fine. Could you just give me another receipt? When I said that, the bells, the whistles, the smoke was blowing out, the springs popped out, the screws went loose. She didn't know what to do. She had to call over the supervisor to give me my own receipt back. She gave it to me the first time. Why can't she give it to me the second time? It's my receipt. I paid for the stuff. In fact, she even asked me, do you have the receipt? I said, yeah. Now she wants to keep it. Well, you ought to help me out here, please. This is my blog for today. David Bronstein, king of late night TV. You want to get in touch with me, go to davidbronstein.com, Bronstein. You want to see more funny blogs, more funny shtick, clips of American Stripper. You want to see the promos of American Stripper, go to AmericanStripperTV.com. I'm producing a new reality show at Ron Jeremy called American Stripper. You can go to AmericanStripperTV.com and get in touch with David Bronstein at davidbronstein.com. And if you're a big shot agent or producer or manager out there, get in touch with me, because I dropped my agent. My agent couldn't book Lassie into a kennel. So I'm very selective. So if you're the big shot agent that can make me a big star like Tila Kalila, Tila Kabila, Bila, Nanila, whoever the hell she is, on MySpace, that has her own reality show on MTV, Jesus Christ, I just had my nose fixed. Now my mouth doesn't work. Get in touch with me at davidbronstein.com and tune into David Bronstein's World every day on YouTube. And many times a day, because who knows what's going to happen today when I go out there. And what happens in my nutty world. That's it. Goodbye. What the hell do I don't know what the hell I'm doing here.